Hello everybody, we're back with Going for Goldbridge on the Mark Goldbridge channel. Make sure you smash a like. Let's see if we can get 10,000 likes and subscribe and all that jazz that I forget that I have to say. But have got big announcements to make. But what? Look, we're back. We're back with Going for Goldbridge. If people don't know what this is, check the history of the channel. I used to just sit here and talk for half an hour. Some people seem to quite like it. I quite enjoy it as well. Apart from the fact, before I do my big announcement, I just want to say it's raining. I hate the bloody rain. I've just done an Instagram story talking about this. The noise of rain, to me, is right up there with somebody else having a crap. And as I said, people will think Goldbridge has got a poo fetish. I haven't. I don't like listening to people having a crap. But if you go into toilets, pub, work, the worst thing is you stood there in your urinal, you can hear someone going, the little trump as well. I hate that. But I hate the rain worse, because the rain for me is some people like the rain. Lock them up, I say. But the reality is, I don't like the rain. And there's many reasons I don't like the rain before my big announcement. My big announcement is I don't like the rain. It's not. It's better than that. But I don't like the rain because it reminds me of when I was a kid and it'd be Thursday and you'd look at the rain and you go, that rain's going to get the grass really wet. If the grass gets really wet, they'll call it off at the weekend. And I lived for football. So that for me is just, that's why I hate heavy rain as well. Heavy rain is right up there. It really gets on my nerves. Also, people can't drive in the rain. I've said this before, I know I have. People can't drive in the rain. This morning I'm taking Seb to school and it's raining heavy. There's cars in front of me that think that if they drive any faster than like 15 miles an hour, they're going to spin off the road and explode and end up in Mars. They're going to spin off the Earth. Like, it's not an ice rink, it's rain. Rain's never been a problem. You're not Lewis Hamilton. You don't need to put your wets on. We're not in bloody San Marino or Monaco. We're on the school run. We're in a 30 mile an hour zone. Drive at 25, not 15. You prats. I'll tell you what, that's one thing about lockdown. There's not many positives from lockdown. I can't be doing with lockdown. It's terrible. There's not many positives from lockdown. I've just had a subscriber because I'm linked in with Twitch. Well, madness. We need to turn that off. Why is that even on? But we'll turn that off. We just had a... Somebody just subscribed to the Twitch channel and we're not even on Twitch. Well done. You're a legend. I didn't even see who it was. But I wondered what that was all about. Anyway, subscribe to my Twitch channel, Goldbridge TV. But, yeah, traffic. This is just another thing. I have nothing to moan about traffic. I mean, I'm on the road. Everyone else has got a right to be on the road, but I hate traffic. Hate it. Anyway, big announcement. Loads to get through. I've looking at some of your questions as well, and some people have been saying, tell us some funny school stories. Give us some relationship advice. So we're going to go through some of that stuff as well. I have got some funny school stories, Rubbernecking gang, and actually I've got some stories that are quite fresh because talking about taking Seb to school, Seb got in trouble at school. Very minor thing. I mean, I'm not even going to throw many shade. It was very minor, and he was a bit, it's probably the first time he's been in trouble at school, and he basically punched someone. No, he didn't do anything like that, but. Seb's quite a sensitive lad, and he'd obviously been told off, and he didn't like it. He didn't like it so much. He said, "Can I just not go to school for the rest of the week?" And I was like, "Yeah, you are going." So I had to tell him. I did that therapeutic thing. I sort of said, "Oh, you think that's nothing? That's minor. I set fire to the school." No, I didn't. You'd never tell a kid that. But no, I told him some stories that I'd done at school. So I have some fresh ones to tell you. But first of all, my big announcement. I'm leaving you cow. No, I'm pregnant. No, it's nothing like that. Actually, well, I have got some big announcements. I mean, look, to be fair, get me water out, Sneak. I'm actually very proud of the Sneak sponsorship we've got on Twitch. I've dropped the link in the video description. It's a sugar-free energy drink. Get the starter pack. Use Sneakbridge as your code. You get... a load of these sent and one of those things to test them out and try them out, what your flavours are, and go from there. So if you're into energy drinks, give it a try. Make sure you use Sneakbridge. Look, I'm happy with this sort of stuff because it's like, we do a lot of different things. We do FIFA Career Mode's very, very popular. It's on Twitch now, and Sneak have decided to sponsor it, and that's a big thank you to you for allowing that. But that's not what my big announcement's about. And look, we're back doing Going for Goldbridge, which a lot of you wanted back. A lot of people like this sort of content, so it's back. Also, big announcement, Driving with Goldbridge. You smashed it. The Driving with Goldbridge series was very much something that I wanted to do. High production. 6 episodes, like a traditional sort of sitcom series. It wasn't a sitcom, but I wanted to do 6 because I love sitcoms. we've got a second series to in a sense. We've got two more episodes that have been sanctioned, so we're going to do 2 more driving with Goldbridges. So very excited about those and the guests. So that's great. Lots of things. But I hate people who go, my big announcement, even though that's what I've called this video, and they go, oh, I'm off to live in a mansion, or I've got a dream job. Great. That's great. That's absolutely great. But you know what my big announcement is? Thank you. I don't think people do that enough. Thank you. I'm from the bottom of my heart, thank you, because I think that you'll never know, and you don't need to know what you do for not just me, but the people involved in the things that I do. And it is down to you. You're the boss. You're the audience. I always say this. You've got to respect your audience, and especially in relation to what I do. I'm not somebody who sits there in a studio and just talks amongst themselves with other people with loads of production around them. It's very interactive. It always has been. That's my thing. It's very hard. It's very exhaustive. But you give what you get and all that sort of jazz. And just a quick one actually. One question has just come into my head. I got a question on which we're going to go through some of them, and it just came into my head there. They said, "Can you give me some advice on when you're really close to somebody but they don't want you to be close to them?" And I think I just want some clarity on that, because if you're talking about you really close to someone, maybe as a friend, and you want it to be more than that and they don't, I can give you advice on that. But if you're close to them physically and they don't want you to be, get away. That could be an offence. I mean, I'm thinking things like they're in bed and you've snuck in or something like that. Get out. That's not good. Effectively retract and speak to this person over email or something like that first to find out. Don't be physically close to people who don't want them to be. You get yourself in all sorts of trouble. But yes, my big announcement is thank you to you. I can't and won't and don't need to go into the full depth of everything. Some of you will have picked up on things anyway, but I'd say look, COVID was very difficult for everybody, but I'd say probably since last summer to probably about a month ago, probably the most challenging times professionally I've been through doing this, and everyone who works with me as well. It's been really difficult, and the one constant through that's kept us sort of sane, I suppose, in many ways, is you. When we've been putting the content on here, whether it's Driving with Goldbridge or the United Stand or That's Football, it's the audience that's kept us going, because we've had some real challenges. And my big announcement for really is thank you, because I don't think a lot of people do that. I think there are people in this industry who just they've got the rod so far up the arse they think they're a lollipop. They think they're it. They think it's all about them, and it is. But you're nothing without your audience, and that's my thank you to you. My big announcement is a thank you to you, and hopefully there's more and more to come, because we've done some really good things this year, but it's been really, really challenging. So I just wanted to say a big thank you, and I don't think you get thanked enough, and I think more people should do that, because we've got a great community, and you're fantastic. And you know what, as well, life's a challenge, isn't it? I think people always say, what are your future plans, before I talk about some funny school stories. What are your future plans? My future plans, I used to write a diary. Before I did this, I used to write a diary. I was reading some of them a few weeks ago. Probably started doing a diary in about 2005, and I used to write in it every day up until for about 6 years. And then I just got really busy and I couldn't do it. And it used to be like once a week and then once a month. And I just thought, just stop it and keep that for that, And life's challenging. And I used to, in these diaries, I noticed over the years, I always read the New Year's Day one, because that's the one that sets the stuff out for the year. And I used to put stuff like, this year, I want a good holiday, I want to be promoted at work, I want this, I want that. And then in the latter ones, as I had kids and got married and stuff, it was like, all I want is for the people I care about to be happy and healthy. And that's it. That is all I want. Because ultimately, your work rate or your ambitions will take care of themselves if you want to work at that. But I've seen so many bad things. I've seen so many people struggle, especially over the last year, that it really is that's all I think about is happy and healthy, and I'll make decisions about other things as and when they need to be. And we've got, the reason I mention that is that every year on the international break in November, I do a charity stream, and I'll stream, sometimes I've done it for 24 hours, but normally sort of 12-15 hours. We'll set a target and what we want to hit, and it's for the Marie Curie Hospice, which deals with but not deals is the wrong word, looks after people with terminal illness, and obviously a lot of that time that's cancer. And as I've mentioned before, I started doing this because my gran and one of my friends died at the same time. It was not related, and I'm not cracking jokes about things like that, because they did die. And the reality is that my gran died at 80, and this lad I knew died at 40, in his early 40s, left a wife and 3 young kids behind. So I'm fortunate to be able to do this sort of thing where I interact with a lot of people, and it's important for me to use that as an opportunity to raise money for these things that are really important. And I think all people should be doing that sort of thing if they have an audience, because you can do something for good. Unfortunately, another friend has passed away recently from cancer, using the same Marie Curie hospice that my friend used a few years ago. So this is going to be a really important stream for me in a couple of weeks' time as well, and it's very sad. And again, there are partners and children left behind and gone way too soon. So that is what I mean about challenges and future plans. Life's what happens while you're busy making other plans, and I think that's the way I look at it. So look, big thank you. That's my big announcement to you, and hopefully big things to come, and we can work together on this journey that we're on. And I really do feel what's the word? I really do feel we're on the journey together, and I think that interaction and realness has always been there for me. Right, let's talk about. Well, I want to go into some of your questions, but also a lot of you, for some reason, were like, "Can you tell us some funny stories from when you were at school?" And I obviously was talking about what I was talking to Seb about, and I do have quite a few. And I suppose it's when you've got quite a few, it's how you tell the stories of them. But look, one of the streets will never forget the rubbernicking gang. The rubbernicking gang was in primary school, and it's still spoken about now. It's not really, but basically we were probably I'm not a grass. I'm not going to name who else was in it, but me and Stevie. No, me and not Stevie White. He went to school in Norwich. We probably would have been good friends at primary school, but it wasn't him. About 3 or 4 of us got fed up of people showing off with their rubbers, and we were working class. We used to have to use the ones that were like the bright green ones that were like oblongs with HB on that the school gave you. People were coming in with like rubbers that were like fancy ones on the end of their pencil. I remember someone had a rubber that was a CD, not a CD. It wouldn't have been a CD in them days, like an LP. They had all these novelty rubbers. We couldn't afford that, so I think somebody walked past one day arrogantly with the rubber on the end of the pencil like this, showing off, and it was like, that's it, they've crossed the line now. So we came up with the idea for the rubbernicking gang, and we used to go and nick their rubbers, and we ended up with so many rubbers we could have started a rubber shop. So we went and hid them. It was obviously autumn, because we went and hid them under some leaves by a tree. And a couple of geeks, no one ever used to go by there, and a couple of geeks found them, and it became big news in assembly. There's been a load of rubbers, and the stupid thing is, the headmistress said, "Does anybody know about these rubbers?" It went quiet, and then I know this from in my days when I used to work in the police. Stay quiet. The person who talks is putting a big bloody guilty sign above their head. One of the lads, Johnny, I've just thrown him under the bus. He puts his hand up and says, "Maybe they've been there for years." Well, they haven't been there for years. One of them still had the bloody price and date stamp on it. So one of them little. People won't know now. When you used to buy things, they used to put stickers with the price on, and some of them used to have the date on. So that was the rubbernicking gang. But I mean, I was so good at it. I was so good at it. I'd walk over to someone's desk and I'd be chatting to them. But if you could do it well enough, you'd spot the rubber on your way up, and then as you walked over to their desk to talk to them, you'd sort of put your hand on the rubber like that and go, "Ah, you all right? You enjoy? Do you watch Baywatch at the weekends?" And then as you walk away, you just take it like that, and it'd be gone. They'd never know. They'd never suspect as well. But developing this into secondary school, it got me thinking about this rubbernicking gang vibe that I obviously had. And I say theft. I didn't intentionally to permanently deprive them of it. It was more of a lesson. Don't be arrogant with your rubber. We hid them. We didn't want them. We could never use them because they'd know that we'd done it. And we didn't have a supply chain. It's not like if you're nicking somebody else's sniff or whatever they call drugs, cheese or whatever these days. If you nick someone else's drugs, but you've got a ready-made supply chain for them to take it and make a bit of money, we didn't think it through. We should have been tapping into other primary schools, Cropple Bishop, Bingham, Cotgrave. You know, we should have been linking into those primary schools and got a supply chain where we go, we'll supply the rubbers, give us the money, and you can go and sell them. But we didn't. We just hid them under leaves. We didn't think it through. It could have been a big empire. But no, look, you know, at the end of the day, that happened. But other funny stories. Well, this happened in secondary school. I've always, you know, obviously I like a bit of banter. This happened in secondary school. You know, we used to have double PE. We used to have swimming, and then in the afternoon we used to have, no, I think it was swimming on the first session, and then you had break, and then we had gym. Gym was not a bloke. You know, things like that used to go on at school, I think, but we didn't have any teachers like that. Gym lesson was gymnastics, short for gymnastics. And we used to have to wear a white kit. It was like white shorts with a white t-shirt with green piping. It was horrific, absolutely horrific. I hated it. I hate gym. It was the word. It's not PE for me. That's not PE. I used to say that's not PE. It is. But let's not get into those arguments. Anyway, these shorts we used to wear were white, and we used to have black shorts for football. And they were made out of this weird material. I mean, it wasn't cotton. It was sort of like synthetic. If you know, you know. It was pathetic material. Basically, if you got it wet, it clung to you. And if the white ones got wet, if you didn't have pants on underneath, you could see through. This is going to become quite sinister and sus, but this is true. So anyway, we have swimming in the morning, gym afterwards. Remember, like, I'm sure everyone still does it. You know, when you go swimming, why do people do this? You know, when you go swimming and you roll your towel up and put your trunks in, so you've got like a big pipe. Why do people do that? Why don't you just put your towel in and your thing? I know why people do it when it's wet, because you're wrapping up your wet short trunks, but people do it when they're going dry. I think it's because they used to think they look good walking with it under there. Well, you don't look good, you look stupid. Get a bag. Anyway, what we used to do is an advancement on the rubbernicking gang, and I'd binned off the other lot because they couldn't sort the supply chain out, and I thought, you know what, I'm not interested in theft, I'm just interested in banter. So what we used to do is, you would have swimming in the morning, but we had 3 lessons in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. I don't know how it works now, so we had 5 lessons a day. And Thursday, double maths on a Thursday afternoon. I don't know how I recovered to like Thursday. I hated double maths. So I think first lesson would be, I don't know, English. Then you'd have swimming, break, and then it would be gym before lunch. So not that gym. Don't get excited, gym. And so we go. So what we used to do is, in English lesson, you would wander off, because effectively a lot of people would leave their bags outside the room. It sounds a bit like primary school, but it wasn't. You know, they didn't like you having rooms in the bags in the room. I don't know. I don't really understand what it was all about. But no, I've completely forgotten the story here. We used to have first break at, weirdly, 10 o'clock till 10:15, and then you'd come back and have double lesson until lunch. A lot of people I've spoken to used to do 2 lessons and have break at 11 o'clock and then 1 more lesson before lunch. We used to get first break around then. So what would happen is, at break time, people would go to get a snack from the snack bar. You could get ice cream buns, can of pop, that sort of thing. And everyone used to just chuck their bag in the pile at the bottom of the stairs. So what we used to do is, I'm taking a long time on this story. We would go down to, I might edit it out. I'm too lazy to edit it out. So when everyone would go up for their snack, we would highlight 3 or 4 people that we wanted to get that week. And it would be people we didn't like, really, or people we wanted to teach a lesson, rubbernicking gang vibes again. So when they were up in the snack bar, we'd drop our bags down, a couple of people would keep an eye out, and we'd go into their bag and pull the trunks out of each one, but leave the towel wrapped. We'd then take the trunks, it's very well thought out, we'd take the trunks, and there was a lost property bin in reception that only got checked once a week. So it wasn't theft again, it was banter. We're not permanently depriving. We'd drop the 4 trunks in there, and then we'd go back to class. You'd go to swimming, and this was my favourite bit. This was always my favourite bit. It's the look on the face when they're in the swim. Some of them were like, some of us were fatter than others. I was quite, toned, but, it would always be good because they'd be there proudly taking off their shirt. Some of them, I don't want to talk about taking off anything else, but they'd proudly take their shirt off, knowing they'd wrap their trunks in their towel. And it was always that challenge to enjoy it with your mates who were part of it, but not laugh to make it obvious. Because if you make it obvious, the joke's over and they know you've done it and you can't do it next week. They'd unravel. This is my favourite bit. They'd unravel the towel. They'd have the pipe, and the way that you'd do it is they'd sort of stand over the bench so they could unravel it, and it would drop down. And as they unravelled it and there's nothing there, it was the look on their face if you had a phone to do it. It'd be like, what? And then the best bit was, obviously, the tube. I mean, I really wish I had the towel to show you. So you halve your towel, sometimes 3. You put your trunks in, you roll it up, and it's a pipe. You know what I mean? You drop it out, and it's there. But obviously, they dropped it out, and the towel was still folded. The fact that they used to unfold the towel to see if the trunks were in there, why would that happen? Why would that happen? They're not there. And then they'd be like, they go looking in the bag, maybe it's fallen out. But then they go looking around the floor like it's fallen out of your bag that was zipped up and everything like that. And then I'd always want to be the one that would be like, is everything all right? And I was brilliant at it. Because obviously, talk first, you could be guilty. But you had to do it straight face. Okay, is everything all right? I've lost my trunks. What do you mean you lost your trunks? He's lost his trunks. I've lost my trunks. Well, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You mustn't have packed them. Well, I did. I remember putting them in. Oh, this has happened to me. And then one of the other gang had piped to him and go, oh, my dad always does this. He always does this. He thinks he's done it. He's put them on the bed. He's rolled the towel, but he's not put them in it. Oh, I'm convinced I did it. Anyway, the point of this is quite sinister. Is that, and you'd never get away with this. I mean, I enjoyed that. That bit was banter for me. That was really enjoyable. But the point is, and this is born out of revenge, I suppose. I actually had forgotten my trunks once, and I said to the teacher, I've forgotten my trunks. And he said, well, wear your gym shorts. And I said, you're having a laugh. He said, well, that's what happens. You've got gym. I know you've got your shorts. Put your gym shorts on. And I go, I can't do that because as soon as I get wet, it's all going to cling to me. I may as well be naked. That's what the policy is. Now, I don't know whether this policy existed. I don't know whether that teacher still stayed in a job. But this did happen. And people from that school know it happened. And it might have happened at yours. If you forgot your swimming trunks and you had your gym kit, you were going out there in white shorts. And as soon as you got wet, that was clinging to you and everyone could see everything. The best bit about this was that it wasn't just boys in swimming. It was boys in the changing room, but it was there was girls in the school and there was girls in the swimming pool. And there comes the problem. Now, fortunately for me, apart from the laugh was on them when they saw what was going on down there. I was all right. I'm sort of joking, but no, it's quite humiliating. So this is sort of why we did it. Because we knew we had gym in the morning after this, and if they didn't have the trunks, they were going out in the white. So yeah, we did do that, and we didn't get caught. I think we got sort of in trouble when people realised they were getting their trunks back the following week. The CCTV didn't exist then, so what they started doing is they put one of the geeks on the lost property bin. And so that was the end of that, but that was a bit of fun. Other highlights, definitely kicked the ball in the face of a teacher by accident. Didn't want to do it. Got into big trouble for that. This was at primary school, playing football. Teacher said, "Give us the ball. You're not meant to be playing here." I literally kicked it. I didn't mean to do it. I should have picked. I think what she meant is give me the ball, pick it up, and pass it to her. I was petulant. I was like, "Oh, that's the end of that game." So I booted it in anger. Bang, straight in the face of the teacher. She was really shaken by it. She was about 55, but yeah, I got into big trouble with that, which was always going to happen, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I think we've all got stories about things that happened at school, haven't we? So there we go. I want to get into some of your questions. It's nice to be back, but I realise I do ramble. One of the questions was, what's your favourite Halloween film? We're not quite at Halloween yet, but my favourite Halloween film. I'm not massively into horror. I mean, I'll probably do a horror game on my charity stream because people seem to like to watch me doing it. But Scream's always been my limit. Bit of comedy, but I don't really like. I'm not into that sort of thing. I do like Halloween, but my limit is basically Simpson Halloween specials. That's the sort of thing I do like. I just want to see if anything else I wanted to touch on here. One thing I did used to do at school, and I'll tell you what, if you're not part of the club on this, you're a liar. Did you ever used to show off when you were playing football? You know, like if there was a girl that you liked and you spotted them, you'd start really trying at football. I always think this is quite funny. It is quite funny, and I don't know whether it goes on when you're older, because I never really used to take my girlfriends when I was playing football in my teens or my 20s. Never had a girlfriend. No, I did. Didn't really play that much football. Rock and roll. But I was too angry. Oh, yeah, I didn't play a lot of football from my late teens into my mid-20s because I was too busy being drinking and stuff. But definitely in the playground, definitely if you spotted a couple of girls you liked, you'd suddenly turn into prime Lee Sharp, who was a good player then, or Ryan Giggs. Give me the ball, and you try and run past 10 players. Fortunately, I probably could do that. But the brilliant thing was, you'd score a cracking goal. They weren't impressed. They're probably looking at a bloody Smash Hits magazine with Gary Barlow in it. I should have shouted at him, that was absolutely incredible, Mark. Absolutely fantastic. They probably would have appreciated that better. But yeah, that's something that just came into my head the other week that I thought I'd better mention. Are you one of those people? I mean, it might not have been football, might have been another sport, that you spot a girl that you like, or they're watching or something like that, or it's PE, and they're in the netball kit, which was always nice. And look, people are going to jump on that. Oh, Goldbridge admiring 15-year-olds in netball kits. I was 15. Like, not now, definitely not now. That would be completely unacceptable and not interested at all. But obviously, 15-year-old lad, 15-year-old girl. They've got their kit on. I've got my kit on. They're walking past the football pitch. You show off. But the reality is, it's funny, it's wasted because they're not interested. They're not interested in that. They're like, oh, that was a really good goal. He's a really talented footballer. Do you fancy going down to the cinema on Friday? So that didn't used to work out. But I think probably we all used to do that, didn't we? I would have thought we all did that. But maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Cucumber Girl. I just take notes during the week of stuff I'd like to bring into Going for Goldbridge. Cucumber Girl. I know what that's about. I've mentioned that before, Cucumber Girl. I think we all know where that's going. Cucumber Girl. This. I don't really go on TikTok, but we have a TikTok account for me. I think it's Goldbridge Official or something. So sometimes I'll pop in and just see, how many views I'm getting because I'm so vain. No. Sometimes I'll pop in because I have to. I'll send a bit of content in or something because I've got access to the account. So, and then you get recommended videos. And I don't know why I get recommended stuff because I don't watch it. But there was this I got this clip that came up and it was this girl with a cucumber and it was it's just so sexual. I was just like, this is disgusting. 14-year-olds could be watching this. 15-year-olds in rugby kits could be watching this. And it was I can't remember what they did with the cucumber. They were just doing. They were like, ooh, and then they sniffed it. I was like, just. I think the youth have been too sexualised. I think they really have, and I think it's a bad thing. Hey, stay young. Well, Oasis sang "Stay Young and Invincible." I say "Stay young and innocent" in relation to that sort of thing. There's plenty of sort of time for that when you're older. You don't need to grow up too fast. Where's Grange Hill and Biker Grove? Enjoy that. Play on your PlayStations and stuff like that. I don't like the. I just don't like that sort of thing being accessible, especially when I've got kids myself. But anyway, Cucumber Girl, get lost, shove it, swivel on it, which is probably what she wanted to do. Let's have a look at some of your questions then. I'm not doing football. Where do you see yourself when you completed your education? I was a mess, ambitions-wise, in my late teens, so I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't worry at any age, but I certainly wouldn't worry between the ages of 14 and 25. I mean, I didn't do anything. I did lots of things, but nothing that was education in life, but nothing I did between the age of 14 and 25 is anything to do with anything good that I've done. Just experiences, so I wouldn't put too much pressure on it. How do you deal with criticism you get? You just get used to it, mate. At the end of the day, not everyone's going to like you, are they? I think the reality is not everyone's going to like you. There's going to be injustice. There's going to be people who who do like you. There's going to be people who lie about you. I think society is a reflection on itself. It's a mirror, isn't it? People who throw hate and stuff like that must have very hateful lives, or bitter lives, or jealous lives, or something. But just do you. Just do you. That's what I used to say to one of my ugly mates, actually. Couldn't get a girlfriend, and I was just like, at the end of the day, just do you. When you were 18, what did you do for a job, and what did you think you'd be doing in the future? Well, that's the same sort of thing, Jake. I mean, I've done all sorts. I worked in a cheese factory. I was a welder. I went to college. All sorts of things, really. I think, as I said, I think there's too much pressure on young people to know what they want to do. You don't need to know what you want to do. I would say keep as many options open as possible, because then, you know, you've got loads of options. You know, what if you go and decide, oh, I want to be an accountant, and you go all the way through uni, you go do that, you're an accountant, you're 22, and then you're like, I don't know whether this is for me. Although you could just go on off and do something else. Cooking with Goldbridge needs to return. Cooking with Goldbridge very nearly did return, Stephen. It will return next week. It was very close. I just missed a very important factor in what I was going to cook. So it will be back, and it's a banger. Done Halloween. Will we ever get Seb as a guest on Driving with Goldbridge? I think that might be quite good, Clapped. We've spoken about it, but yeah, that would be quite a good episode, actually. Very different, anyway. Very different. Are you interested in rugby league? Nah. Which 3 words would you describe yourself? Oh, I'd have to think on that. You could do it. What 3 words would you describe me? Get in the comments. There you go. But look, no, I just want to say big thank you to everybody. I don't think people say it enough. I know I do it a lot. I'm very, very, aware of my audience and its factor in what we do. So big thank you to you. Nice to be back. Quite therapeutic. Don't know whether any of it made sense. I think that's the sort of point. But make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe and get involved. Lots more content coming on this channel. And as I say, Sneak. I don't need to do it, but check it out on the link. Try it out. Sugar-free energy drinks, loads of different flavours. Try the starter pack. Use SneakBridge on the checkout code. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Thanks for watching.